Welcome back to Deep History TV, where we explore the greatest civilizations of the past. Today, we're traveling to one of the most iconic cultures in history, ancient Egypt. For over 3 millennia, Egypt thrived along the Nile River, leaving behind pyramids, temples, gods, and stories that continue to capture our imagination today. From the first pharaohs of the early dynastic period to the glorious New Kingdom, and finally to Cleopatra, the last ruler of the Ptolemaic dynasty, this is the incredible story of ancient Egypt. Before pyramids and pharaohs, Egypt was simply the land of the Nile. Around 5000 BCE, small farming communities settled along its banks. The Nile's annual floods deposited rich silt, turning desert into farmland. People grew wheat, barley, and flax, supporting permanent villages. This natural abundance gave Egypt stability and allowed for specialization of labor. Potters, builders, priests, and rulers began to emerge. The Nile didn't just feed Egypt, it was its highway, carrying goods, armies, and ideas. Without the Nile, there would be no Egypt. In around 3100 BCE, a powerful leader named Narmer, also known as Menes, united Upper and Lower Egypt. This was the birth of the Egyptian state. He founded Egypt's first capital at Memphis, near modern Cairo. This unification was not just political but symbolic. The double crown combined the white crown of Upper Egypt with the red crown of Lower Egypt. From this moment, Egypt would be ruled by a line of dynasties for the next 3,000 years. The Old Kingdom was Egypt's first golden age, also known as the Age of the Pyramids. Pharaohs built colossal monuments as tombs for their afterlife. The most famous were the pyramids at Giza. Khufu's Great Pyramid, the last surviving wonder of the ancient world. Khafre's Pyramid, with a mighty sphinx guarding it. Menkaur's Pyramid, smaller but elegant. The Old Kingdom created a centralized government and showed the world Egypt's unmatched power. But after nearly 500 years, droughts and political instability led to its decline. Religion was the heart of Egyptian life. The Egyptians worshipped hundreds of gods. Ra, the sun god, gave light and life. Osiris, lord of the dead, ruled the afterlife. Isis, goddess of magic, was beloved as a protector. Anubis, the jackal-headed god, guided souls after death. Egyptians believed in eternal life. They practiced mummification to preserve the body for the soul's journey. Tombs were filled with treasures, food, and even servants, everything the deceased might need in the next world. The Book of the Dead contained spells to guide the dead safely through the underworld. After chaos in the First Intermediate Period, Egypt reunited under the Middle Kingdom. This was a time of stability, literature, and art. Pharaohs built canals to expand farming and trade. Stories like The Tale of Sinew gave us insight into Egyptian culture. But Egypt was not invincible. Foreign invaders known as the Hyksos, with horse-drawn chariots and advanced weapons, conquered northern Egypt. This marked the end of the Middle Kingdom. The New Kingdom was Egypt's height of power. Pharaohs expanded Egypt's borders from Nubia in the south to the Levant in the north. Hatshepsut, the female pharaoh, ruled as king and built grand temples at Deir el-Bahri. Thutmose III, called the Napoleon of Egypt, led over 17 military campaigns. Akhenaten shocked Egypt by introducing a new religion, worshipping only the sun disk Aten. His wife, Nefertiti, became one of history's most iconic queens. Later, Tutankhamun, the boy king, restored the old gods. His tomb, discovered in 1922, remains the most famous archaeological find in the world. And finally, Ramses II, known as Ramses the Great, ruled for 66 years, building temples like Abu Simbel and fighting the famous Battle of Kadesh against the Hittites. Not everyone was a pharaoh. Most Egyptians were farmers, craftsmen, or soldiers. Women had more rights than in many other ancient cultures. They could own property and even rule as pharaohs. Education was mostly for scribes, who mastered hieroglyphics, Egypt's sacred writing system. Their work kept records of taxes, laws, and rituals. Music, art, and festivals filled Egyptian life. And above all, they lived with the rhythm of the Nile, planting, harvesting, and celebrating its floods each year. After the New Kingdom, Egypt faced centuries of decline. Invasions by Libyans, Assyrians, and Persians weakened its power. Then came Alexander the Great, who conquered Egypt in 332 BCE. His general Ptolemy founded a dynasty that lasted nearly 300 years. The last ruler was Cleopatra VII. She formed alliances with Julius Caesar and Mark Antony, trying to save Egypt's independence. But after her defeat to Rome in 30 BCE, Egypt became a Roman province. The age of the pharaohs had ended, but their monuments lived on. From the fertile banks of the Nile to the temples of Luxor, from Khufu's pyramid to Cleopatra's throne, Egypt's story is one of resilience, faith, and glory. For over 3,000 years, this civilization thrived, shaping law, religion, architecture, and art for generations to come. Even today, the pyramids, the Sphinx, and the treasures of Tutankhamun remind us that ancient Egypt truly was built for eternity. If you enjoyed this journey into the mysteries of ancient Egypt, make sure to join us for more explorations into the greatest empires and civilizations in history. Subscribe to Deep History TV and hit the notification bell so you never miss a story from the past. Because history isn't just about what happened, it's about understanding how it shaped the world we live in today.